Morning, morning, everybody. Michelle is here. Just wanted to get up early because I really have a lot of work to do, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. Because I need to get this house organized. Because I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the market and see what else happens. From there. Um, I wanted to um, give some input on how this can potentially lessen the bleed, between law enforcement and people of color, more so black cultures. Because I told you when I was a young girl growing up in black culture, we rarely ever saw the police. We never ever saw the police. And when we needed them, like I said, I called them from my dad that time when he had a rifle in his hand. And if I called him for anything else, it was probably a misunderstanding. In other words, I do remember, I think, calling them the police back in the day when I saw a crowd of people running up the street, yelling I think I fell for the okey doke, as they say, or I drank too much Kool Aid because I just saw a whole bunch of people, and they were black, running down the street. They were arguing, and then for some reason it made me call the police when I should have known better that I didn't need to call the police. That's just what we do. We argue and we congregate together. We'll fight, and then okay, go home. So again, the um, the terroristic activities done to people of color, or the black culture, or the brown or dark people, however we want to call it, Africans. Let's stay with Africans, but we kind of spread all over the place. African, it can be, as long as we're saying black Africans, all right, because we got other nationalities in there as well. That's why I like to stick with black or dark people. Okay, black or dark is who I am representing and who I'm talking to and talking about. So I just want to make that very clear. Okay, now here's something the police department can do since they're so concerned. You know, take all of those white officers, every single one of them, out of black culture. Take them out of the black community, all of those white officers, and put them in the affluent neighborhoods. Okay, the affluent neighborhood believes that the police belong to them anyway. They drain all the police services anyway. So put them in all those white officers in those white communities and let them sit on every corner in all of those so-called white areas, whether they're rural or not. Put your officers there, all of your white officers in those communities of non-black people. Okay. Now, if you have a black officer, you can put them in the black culture, but you really don't have to. You really don't have to. Okay. Now, because this black on black crime stuff is nothing but a bunch of bullshit. And it never existed. It was infiltrated and created by non black people to break us up, to make us seem as though we're a problem, and break up the power that we have as a group. Okay? Again, black on black crime is a lie that was perpetrated on people of color, dark people, to break us up because they knew as one or as a collective of of dark people the power we have. And I bet you those cowards who are white supremacy and KKK at the in charge at these law enforcement office at these police departments will not do it. They will not take their white officers out of those communities because that's why they put them there, to create problems. Okay, put drugs on them. Claim their license is suspended all the time. Claim this, claim that. Just give them a reason to harass them and try new technology on them. Okay, the facial recognition didn't work. So, what else are they going to do? Okay? And I dare those law enforcement so-called speaking officials or whoever represents law enforcement, because law enforcement does not represent the people. That I know. Okay, so law enforcement If you want to know how white people behave, put all your white officers in those neighborhoods. Have them sit on the corner because they've been begging for that for years. You know that? Have you been listening to uh, your white community? They want you to have a police officer on every corner in those neighborhoods, sitting there protecting those $1 million homes. Okay, and get your asses out of black culture because you don't understand it, and go take care of your white people who, like I said, who have been begging for you to help them. But no, you've been ignoring them, right? Yeah. So again, let's see if this works. And I want everybody to push it. Push this agenda. Push this conspiracy. Take all of the white police officers out of these black, predominantly dark people neighborhoods or black people neighborhoods. Take them out. And if you have a black officer, you can sit them there. You can have one. All you need is one. Guarantee it. All you need is one in that community, and that community will be fine. And now Latinos, you have to speak for yourself. Finally, you need to speak for yourself, as well as Asian. There's Asian communities. Put Asian officers in those neighborhoods. Let's see if you do that. That's a solution, and I know it'll work. But the question is, will it be implemented, or at least given an opportunity? Because remember, everything is theories and opinions, but nobody wants to resolve the theories and opinions. They want to keep it going because it's status quo. If it's a status quo, they don't want to change it. Actually, when it comes to those type of the social fabric of these communities. Okay, black people, dark people, we love each other. We like to be close. We like to be talking to each other. We'll argue sometimes, but we want to feel the warmth of our presence together. Because I remember when I went to Jamaica, back in the 90s, the same thing was going on. I was like, why are they congregating together like this? It all makes sense because we love each other. Okay, we love each other and we want to be together. Okay, but then we got infiltrated by whores and these kind of jealous and envy people, even of our own color. But the most that have done the most damage to us are Spaniards. Spaniards have done the worst damage to dark people. Okay, because whites were doing it back in the day. Okay. And, we put a stop to that. That was stopped. So now they, like I said, because these Spaniards can say nigga, 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 and it doesn't bother us as much because we saw them as our brothers and sisters. But I told you about this one woman back in the 90s as well when she was all upset because she was being called Spanish or Hispanic or whatever they would call themselves back then. And I thought to myself, why are you upset about being called Spanish? That is, and it threw me into because she was upset with me. She wasn't upset with that bitch that was calling her non-American. She was upset with me because I told her she's Spaniard. See how much a contradiction we throw out on each other? These are fucking contradictions all over the place. Okay, dark people do not, or let's put it this way, dark people are not the problem. Okay, there's no reason for all those type of police officers to be in those communities at all. They need to get the hell out because they're there for a purpose. Remember, I told you most of law enforcement is white supremacy, KKK. They can care less about black culture or dark people. They just want to go in there and do what they did to the Indians, trying to eliminate them. Again, black on black crime was a lie. Okay, that was created to give the illusion to these non-black people that there's a problem in the black culture because they would create it, and thus because they were in bed with media, and they probably still are. I don't know. I don't care. You remember how media was before? It was paper, newspapers and stuff. And guess who owned a newspaper back in the day? The serial killer. Keep that in mind. Something to consider. So, I would like anybody that can hear my voice, that can get to these law enforcement agencies and tell them to take all of those white police officers out of these black cultures, out of these dark cultures, because they're trying to eliminate them like they did the Indians. And it didn't work, but at the same time, we need to stop the bleeding. We need to stop the bleeding and put those white officers in white communities, because white communities are the ones who think police belong to them. And it does. It actually does. The police department belongs to white people, because that's what they've always told me. And they're the ones that drain all the services and always need calls, because they got an issue with their dogs. You can go out there and help them with their dogs, since you love dogs and animals more so than you do human beings. I'm talking about white police officers. You can go out there and help them with their dogs, help them with their animals. You can, do whatever you need to do to help out your white communities. Like they said, they've been asking for years. We want a police officer on every corner. What do they say to you guys when they go to these meetings? What do they call them? Home association meetings or community meetings or something. I don't know anymore. I can't remember. Where an officer would show up and lie about this and lie about that, lie about statistics and lie about that, not telling accurate statistics. And I'm talking about this began long ago, but nobody's challenging that. We're just keeping these status quos going. And we keep nepotism in tow. Nepotism keeps it that cohesive lie alive about black on black. These people don't care about their neighborhood. That's a bunch of bullshit. As I said, there was no problem in dark culture when I grew up until the police showed up. That's when the problem started. Okay? So, anybody that had that power? Because look, these are conspiracy theories I'm throwing out. And since nobody wants to challenge them, I know black women will. That's why I'm not even concerned. Black women will challenge that. And some of these black women are in high positions right now. Right? They got you elevated in high positions for a reason. They want you to be fielding all these unanswerable questions about crime. While behind the scenes, these white officers, these KKKs, these white supremacists are creating the crime in those communities. You remember that serial killer who was able to roam through a predominantly white area for almost 30 years. And they finally caught him over there in California somewhere. What do they call him? I don't know. That disgusting looking serial killer he's in his 70s now. And when he's on camera, he's acting like he's so limp and weak. But then off camera, he's jumping around like a monkey, with all this strength. Okay? So I know black women will take care of this. Or dark women, however you want to call yourself. It's all up to you, baby. Because I know you guys know what to do. Okay? They put you there. Do it. Test it out. Challenge that status quo. And I want to say this, in closing. My wife will be the one to help me to develop the second half of my life. That just came to me. I just want to say it. And also, I only have eyes for you, especially if I said I love you. Woo, boy, I'm just throwing out some work for y'all to do. What? That sounds fantastic, doesn't it? All these plots and conspiracy theories and challenging them. Let's challenge them. And I thank you. And I think deep down inside, some of you know that this will work. I want to send peace and love. And trust me, I'll be back.